is that we have returned rights and responsibilities to the local congregation, that we are deliberately seeking to empower the local congregation to be the church that it is. And this is illustrated in two ways primarily. One is that if any gathering of this association, and every congregation in the association is entitled to send delegates to our annual gathering where the business of the association is conducted. But let's say that the delegates there voted to change the constitution of the association. It would not mean that that change automatically takes place even if 100% of the delegates there were to vote to change our constitution. In the 2 years following that vote at an annual gathering, 2/3 of our member congregations must, in individual votes in their congregation, vote to ratify that change in our constitution, or that change does not take effect. Likewise, any change in our bylaws is also subject to a ratification process by our congregations. If 50% of our member congregations in the year following a change to our bylaws at an annual gathering register a no vote to that change, then that change in our bylaws does not take effect. And so every congregation in the association is taken very seriously in our life together. You have a voice in the life of the association. I like to tell people that if we mess up, it'll be your fault. And that if we do things right, then you'll get to share the credit. So, and that's the way it should be. That these are decisions that we make together as an association, and you have a direct voice in the decisions that are made as we journey together. And we really do believe that that makes us distinctive. Is it perhaps a bit cumbersome? The first time we made any change, it was actually when we adopted ministry standards. We had a vote. Our congregations, 2/3 of them had to register a yes vote to that. And it took some reminding, but in the end, well over 2/3 of our member congregations responded. And we think that it's worth the effort that it takes to involve our member congregations in that way in the life of the association. And so we think that that makes us distinctive. We'll move on then to the third question. Can a congregation belong to a Lutheran denomination and LCMC simultaneously? And the answer to that question is yes. From the perspective of the association, you can belong to a denomination of your choice and to LCMC at the same time, because we believe that if it helps you as a congregation in your ministry to belong to another church body, then that is your prerogative as a congregation. And we allow our congregations to do that. Of course, it may be that other denominations involved in that process may have something other to say about that, and we would encourage always congregations to check that out before they join LCMC. But from our perspective, it is perfectly legitimate for congregations to belong to another Lutheran denomination and to LCMC at the same time. In fact, we recently had a congregation of the United Church of Christ that had left the UCC and joined LCMC because in their heritage, one of the merging bodies that formed the UCC had Lutheran roots. I didn't know that, but it was very interesting to find it out. I felt as though I was being introduced to long-lost cousins when we met, and so we have our first congregation from the UCC that has joined LCMC. On the other side of that, question number 4, can LCMC be the only church body affiliation for those who so choose? And the answer to that question is yes, they can. We have 501c3 status with the Internal Revenue Service. We have an excellent pension and benefits program, which all of the employees of our member congregations can participate in. And so in every way that's practical and necessary, LCMC can function as the only church body home for any congregation that so desires. And about 2/3 of our member congregations, moving towards about 3/4 at this point in our life together, have no other church body affiliation other than LCMC. Of course, now we get to the big questions. What are the financial implications of joining LCMC? And quite frankly, the implications to congregations are whatever they choose to be. We allow congregations, we don't have any set guidelines for what congregations give to the association. As a matter of fact, because we have such a flat organizational structure, we encourage congregations to give the bulk of their benevolence dollars directly to those benevolences that they choose to support as a congregation. Because we believe that cutting out the middleman in that process is good stewardship. We think that the less amount of money that's spent administratively in making those kinds of decisions, the better. And we believe that congregations can make informed decisions, and this is where returning rights and responsibilities to congregations comes in. But we believe that congregations can do the work that's necessary to make informed decisions about where they will spend their benevolence dollars. And so we encourage congregations to send the bulk of their benevolence dollars directly to those benevolences they wish to support, and then to send a portion of their benevolence dollars to support the general fund of the association, which this last year was in the neighborhood of about $250,000, which is considerably smaller than the budgets of many of our member congregations. And that's because we do very limited things at the national level in the association that require the financial contributions of our congregations. We have 2 employees of the association at this point, and we provide basic services. We have our own database, our own server, our own person that manages our website, that constructs it and manages our website in our office in Canton, Michigan. And myself, as the other employee of the association who spends a great deal of time doing what we're doing here today, talking about LCMC to congregations that are interested. Plus, the 2 employees of the association work with our volunteer board of trustees, and we oversee the annual events of the association. We have an annual gathering where the business of the association is conducted and where we fellowship and learn and network together in LCMC. And we have a leadership conference every year in the spring where leaders of our congregations gather to be encouraged and to be strengthened in their calling as leaders in our congregations. Our board also oversees our pension and benefits program, but all of these things really are very limited and require a limited amount of money that needs to come from our member congregations